when you look at a Jaden Ivey, they're not kind of the same type of prospect that when you're drafting these players. And I think that's what works. And I see a comment from, Mr. Longitude. He's a longtime subscriber. Said, I don't see what others see in Ivy unless he's improving on certain elements of his game. This is what I'll say, because this is a fair question. Jaden Ivey has improved each year. Now it might not be like a drastic improvement, but you can see improvement. I thought in his second season, defensively, there were some improvements in the second half of the season. Yep. I thought this year, he did get caught under ball screens quite a bit, but as the season went on, he got better. He was fighting over the top of screens, and it kind of gave you a little bit of confidence where you're like, okay, he's starting to figure it out. The 3-point shot, he was not known as a 3-point shooter coming out of college. Like when he was shooting 40% from three, I remember scrolling the timeline like, yo, if Ivy can shoot 40% from three, like Pistons are going to be the problem come playoff time, because you have Cade having the ball in his hands. And if Ivy's that open man shooting 40% from three, like teams are going to have to, respect his jump shot. And I think that's what I see out of Jaden Ivey, Eric. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I think to me, even when you look back at his college stats, like he was shooting, I think in his like second season, what was it? I feel like he was like around 36%. So it wasn't even so much as the numbers to his jump shot or his 3-point shooting. It was the mechanics that people had such question about. And that is fixed. If you look at his jump shot from his college sophomore season to what it looks like now, it's night and day completely. And I feel like he did a great job in improving in that. I'm not really sure. Yeah, I don't know what if he wants to comment on what the improvements he wants to see from Ivy. I'm all ears to find out. But I was sold on Ivy last season just based on everything he had to go through. Like, again, I've said it before. If Ivy would have crashed out in the media and said, hey, I mean, they just don't believe in me. I don't really know what my role is. I wasn't expecting any of this. Nobody would have been shocked or upset to hear him voice that publicly and like kind of rebel against whatever Monty Williams was coaching in the process. But he was able to just keep his head down, say, hey, whatever they need me to do, I'm gonna still be J.I. was the direct quote he gave before the season started. And when he was put back in the starting lineup or even coming off the bench, the flashes were there. Obviously, when he got more playing time and was consistently next to Cade in the starting lineup, we saw the improvements and we saw more of the flashes. Like he had a 30-point outbreak against the Pacers one game where he was fantastic. I think Cade was right around the same line statistically. I just feel like if you like, again, for young players, obviously their game is so predicated in a lot of their development of, okay, can they develop the jumper? Can they develop defensively? To me, I was sold on just the mindset. The fact that he wasn't, putting his head down and sulking. He was there trying to pick his team up, trying to make things work throughout all the adversity they were going through an unbelievably terrible losing streak and everything else that they had to go through. He was still every day trying to show up, pick his team up, trying to improve his game, and he did it in a mature fashion. We didn't see any social media posts of him, like subtweeting or subposting anybody or anything like that. Yeah. We didn't see any of that kind of immaturity. We've seen that from other players around the league. He was, mature enough to rise above that, which, I mean, I don't want to get too much into it. I saw a video of him reflecting on a lot of things he went through as a child that molded his maturity. If you guys haven't seen it, I really, really advise you go check that out, because I was super impressed and super proud to see what he was able to talk about as a man and what led to things like his religious beliefs and a lot of other stuff. So that adds to me to his mental, toughness as a basketball player. And I don't have any other questions about him. I think Ivy is the guy. He fits next to Cade, and I really hope the Pistons see that through. I really do.
I'll say this, and then we can go on to the next topic. I think in the half court, that's where you miss Jaden Ivey the most.
100%.
The half court offense got exposed.
Yes.
In the playoffs. Like, if Jaden Ivey was out there, I don't think New York doubles as much. I don't think they would have the luxury of doubling as much. If he was healthy in the playoffs, the half court sets, I think, would have been run a little bit more smoothly. And I think that's where you miss him so much. Yep. I can understand some fans, maybe they don't get to watch each and every game, and that's understandable. But watching him since he's gotten drafted, I've seen dramatic improvements, especially with the shot. You mentioned it. Like, the mechanics of his shot have improved, and it's not so much the mechanics, it's the release. The release is so much quicker, where he can get that shot off like that. Like in his rookie year, it was a lot slower and it was very blockable. I think the coaching staff and Fred Vincent have done an incredible job, and also Jaden Ivey as well, because we know just the type of work ethic he has. He spends a lot of time in the gym. So if I were to, bet stock on a player developing even more, it's Jaden Ivey, because I know how much work he puts in. I remember Trajan's first week here. He's like, yeah, we have to lock the doors because Jaden Ivey's like staying here like 5-6 hours working on his game. Like the stuff that maybe, everyday fans don't get to see. I hear about Jaden Ivey's work ethic and like what a dog he is, and what a good player he is on and off the court. So I'm always going to bet on a guy like that wants to better not only his playing style, but like the stuff he does in the community as well. So that's why I'm so high on Jaden Ivey, and I'm sure you're the same way.
100%. Yeah, I got to talk to his dad, during the offseason and throughout the season as well. He talked about how him and Cade worked together, to kind of improve on some things. And I loved that quote too, where Trey just said that during media day, where they said they had to lock the gym and get Ivy out of there because he was trying to do too much. But I mean, that just shows, how hungry that this team is. Cade talked about it, where he said basically everybody on this roster has a chip on their shoulder in some way, shape, or form, based on what we went through last season, based on what they went through throughout their careers, the vets as well. Everybody had some kind of chip on their shoulder, and a lot of that hunger was validated based on the steps that we saw them take. And a lot of those steps were taken early as well, even if it didn't come with wins. Losing what I think the first 4 or 5 games that they lost until they played the Sixers on the road. They were still trying to fight. They were, keeping their head high. They weren't, trying to get too low. And once the win started clicking, I think everything else kind of made sense from there. So we saw the young foundation of this team not just play well, but play winning Detroit basketball together. And that was the most important thing coming into the season.
Yeah. I mean, I think that maybe goes a little bit unnoticed because he was out for the last 40 or so games, and including the playoffs. But
right.
I did want to stick with Kate Cunningham, and I saw this